Welcome to The Authentic Exchange, where real men have real conversations and engage in authentic communication. I'm Josh Bird, and I'll be your host. I appreciate you guys joining in for part 2 of episode 2. This is the interviews. I am reaching out to one of my friends, and I'm asking him to tell me about me. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you accepting my invitation to answer some of these questions. Hopefully you can give me some insight into me. What I want to know first is how we became friends. You know, just to give people a little bit of background, we are related, and that doesn't mean that you're going to be friends. You know, not everybody likes the people that they're related to. So from your perspective, how did we become friends?
We have been family forever. Been friends, I'd say, going on maybe 20 plus, almost 30 years. Just knowing each other, going to church, having kind of like the same circle.
When did you first notice that Josh kind of got a problem opening up, talking about stuff? He really, he ain't going to give you too much. He's, guarded. When did you first realize that?
Just due to basically you not expounding on much. I mean, we hang out, we talk about certain things, but most people, when they have those conversations, they try to, go into intricate detail, or if they feel comfortable with somebody, they kind of like know the whole story. You were more or less just gave the pointers that you were comfortable giving, or dispelling information that you were comfortable with. And I kind of took that as like you not wanting people to really know what was going on with you. And the link we've been buying gives you a understanding like, okay, this guy's not really wanting to give you stuff willingly. So you just I per se had to basically just understand that that's who you are. That's how you want to dispel information. It's just that I've learned to take people for who they are and not dig into what they have going on. And just me being very personable and knowing a lot of people, you sometimes encounter people that have those traits that you have, which was, I'll give you just enough and I'm not going any further. And you have to kind of be okay with it. And I've just over the years in my adulthood learned to be okay with that. Understanding kind of your lifestyle. Not that I knew every intricate detail, but I could kind of piece things together or be in the same neighborhood to form an understanding that would work for me, being okay with you, being kind of closed off.
Okay, so let me just ask you this, man. Having grown up around each other as much as we did, I mean, what do you think, from what you could see, did you have any, ideas as to, maybe why you thought that, like, man, why he's closed off, or why, is only going to give you just enough?
I think that has to do with, again, me knowing kind of like how you were raised, which is kind of sort of not a mirror image, but very similar due to our upbringing, how we were brought up, things you saw, things you witnessed. I do remember I don't know if it was at a party or something like that, and I think that mom had said or did something or acted in a way, and you kind of didn't pull me to the side, but we were close enough, and you were just like, I hate when that shit happens. But right there, I was like, okay. It started to make sense.
Okay, yeah, that was crazy. That was insane, man. That was absolutely insane. I remember being, extremely upset, man. I was pissed about that one for a while. Did you ever feel like it was one-sided? Did it make you feel like, hey, man, because he's only giving so much, I'm going to only give so much? Did you feel comfortable sharing with me?
No, not for me. And I kind of hate to say it that way. And I guess kind of going into it bothered me or anything like that, which it really did. I'm the type of person that I kind of very transparent, will pretty much tell you anything when it comes to me. I mean, I have nothing to hide. I'm pretty good with myself. And what I got going on with me in my life. But no, I wouldn't say that it affected our friendship negatively or in any way. honestly, we got 20 years plus. You know what I'm saying? So over that time, you know, you just learn that that's how that person is.
Was there anything that you looked at like, hey, man, I'm going to try to help him. I'm going to try to, you know, drop some knowledge on him or put him in this situation or something like that because it helped you. Is there anything like that, you know, maybe I didn't recognize or?
I think you probably recognized it from our conversation to this present day. You always hit me with a memory or a gem. And I tell you this all the time, man, like even you, I see a lot of you in me. I'm older than you. Again, so me being older than you and basically our lives being similar growing up, but as we reached teen and early adulthood, very polar opposite. Very polar opposite. So knowing that, but still knowing who you are as a person, the real you, who I say, and what your values are and what you believe in and what you respect and who you love, definitely I saw a lot of myself in you because we were so polar opposites. Did I try to get you out of your shell or something? I think me being me and just sharing my life with you was, honestly. You saw what you saw. I mean, you took part in it in some things. I mean, I think there was a point where we went to the strip club together or something like that.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd get you there. One of the highlights of my life. Just because we are so opposite. Had a great time. I was proud of that, just to get you out of your shell, just to kind of see how you move in different atmospheres. And definitely, I think that was one of the highlights of our friendship, our relationship, but just hanging out in general and kind of taking you out of what seemed to be, from what I knew was everybody else's norm for you, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. But what I'll say is it's funny that you brought up the strip club incident. It's funny that you brought that up because literally that was, without you even knowing, that was the catalyst for this whole conversation. And so what's funny is, you know, my wife and I were having a conversation and mentioned something about the strip club. And I'm like, oh, yeah, man, where the strippers at, man? You know, what's up, you know? And she's like, what? You been to the strip club? Like, oh, man, you know, you wholesome, you know? And so that really triggered a lot of feelings and a lot of emotion, man, because I felt like for years, I had to battle with that label of being wholesome. Like everybody looked at me as just being this holy individual. And, you know, wow, there were a lot of great qualities about me. A lot of stuff that, you know, I had convictions that I stood behind and still do. But, you know, I always wrestle with that. You know, and I felt like I had to defend the fact that I was good, you know, and I had to, at times, try to prove that I wasn't so good. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes people, and I don't know if you ever picked up on that, I think you kind of alluded to it a little bit in terms of, you know, the norm that everybody kind of, the box that people kind of had me in. And so it's funny to me that you bring that up because that's literally what spurred this conversation. And so, like, I mean, what did you notice in terms of that? Did you ever, you know, see me in that conflict? Did you notice that? Or did I even, you know, have any conversation with you about maybe feeling like, man, people think I'm like on a pedestal good, you know, you kind of approached it from, I feel like, a different perspective. So can you talk to that? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Of course. I think it was basically like you alluded to, which was knowing that I know people perceived you a certain way. I kind of knew if there was something inside you that maybe wanted to rebel, which I thought was natural.
I wouldn't even say rebel as much as I rejected the notion that I was perfect. Like I wrestled with that. I struggled with that from an identity perspective because it was like, for me, who people perceived me to be and who I was. What I understand now is that as individuals, we're all multifaceted. We are multidimensional and nobody's all one thing. You know, we got different hats, we got different roles, we got different ways that we behave. And, you know, my biggest thing is that people are consistent across the board. And, you know, I think one thing that you have said often is that, you know, man, I feel like we're cut from the same cloth. And like I said, I don't know if you noticed that or not, you know, because like I said, I think that was part of kind of really, in my opinion, what stood out, you know, when we began to connect and really hang out in my early 20s. And there was a lot that I didn't know about life. You being the seasoned veteran that you showed me a lot, man. I learned a lot from you and my brother, man. And so, you know, I'm grateful for the friendship, man. I'm grateful, you know, for you accepting me for who I was at that moment. It takes, I think, a special type of person to see the good in somebody and, you know, realize like, hey, man, this person's worth being around, man, even though they may have, you know, challenges in other areas. I think that, you know, this is a worthwhile friendship to pursue. So I appreciate that, man, wholeheartedly. I am a firm believer that when you build meaningful relationships, when you have meaningful connections, your friends and, you know, loved ones that you develop these relationships with can become a mirror for us. That, you know, you can be the mirror that I can look at myself in and, you know, find truth. I'm grateful for the friendship. I'm grateful for the brotherhood. And, you know, for me, this was huge because, like I said, I'm able to go back to look and recognize my faults. I'm able to recognize weaknesses and flaws that I had at different points in my life. And, you know, that's what I think, you know, part of the life journey is. You know, one thing that I picked up from you is that emphasis on getting life experience. Right. And what I can say is that, you know, my experience in life has definitely, you know, culminated with me being at this place in this moment. You know, for years, you and I have had conversations, talked, and, you know, just different in-depth conversations about different things that we wish we might have had, different things that we wish we might have known. And I feel like this is the perfect time. This is the perfect opportunity to engage in conversation that allows us as men to connect. I'm sure you know several men that don't necessarily have your transparency with most things, but I'm sure there's still some things that you keep, you know, on lockdown or that you got with a vice grip. And so what I've discovered in my journey is that my vulnerability is probably one of my greatest strengths. And, you know, at another time in life, you know, a few years ago, even, I probably would have never said that. I probably would have never had that revelation. But I realized how much better the quality of the relationships that I have with people has gotten since I opened up, since I, you know, allowed people to see me for me. When I began to accept myself for who I was and not feel like I had to people please, not, you know, feel like I was worried about somebody's judgment or what they were going to say. It freed me up to live authentically. And that's literally how I try to live my life now, is in the most authentic and transparent way that I can. It's funny because, like I said, I know that for most people, when they see me or they talk to me or they ask questions, there's still a lot of people that, you know, they kind of dance around certain questions because they're like, okay, man, I do remember him being this way. And they don't necessarily, you know, recognize it. It's much easier to have conversations and to, you know, explore things and topics and things with me now than it was ever back then. And like I said, I'm realizing that vulnerability is my greatest strength. And hopefully, you know, this message will encourage others to open up and expand the quality of their relationships. Like I said, I think that surface level relationships do not lead to a meaningful life, man. You know, the quality relationships lie in the deeper connections, man, and actually opening up and showing your true self to people. And I think that's part of why people gravitate toward you. You know, I sincerely appreciate, you know, the fact that You owned who you were. You operated with a lot of confidence. That helped me. That was definitely lessons that I learned from you over the years. So just say, man, you are who you are. Be who you are, and don't be ashamed of it. You know what I mean? You're not going to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Live up to your own expectations versus, trying to live up to other people. Man, it's, much love. Like I said, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man, you're more than welcome, brother. I also want to let you know that, bro, you don't even understand how much you've impacted my life. You really don't. You've never been good taking compliments. You just haven't. But honestly, bro, I promise you, you impacted my life way more than you could ever imagine. Again, I see so much of myself in you, who I want to be. Super proud of you and how you've grown, your growth, who your evolution, who you're becoming, who you are. Definitely one of my favorite people, man. Definitely one of my bros, Doc. And I always value that, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate that, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. And then this is a whole nother episode, but I recognize that. I think you were 100% right. I was just doing some reading the other day and kind of listening to some material as well. And I was listening to gave me some pause, and it just really began to talk about men receiving compliments, men, taking, compliments and receiving it without trying to deflect it. That's definitely a conversation that we will kind of dive into a little bit more. I'd love to hear, kind of your thoughts on that as well. Like I said, I completely accept and welcome the compliment, man, and the appreciation, man. It means the world to me. I'm continuing to strive to be the best individual that I can be, and hopefully through this podcast have an impact on other men. That's really what this is about, man. I appreciate everyone that's tuning in today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading and checking out the podcast. I hope that you share this with someone so that it can be a benefit and a blessing. Until next time, much love and much abundance. As always, never forget to learn, to love, to grow, and to always move with grace. I'm Josh Bird. This is The Authentic Exchange, and I'll holler at you next time.